So, Pep Guardiola, he said, this club tried for the whole history at Main Road or with our heroes like Colin Bell or Mike Summerby, the legends that we've had. We've done our best to do it on the pitch. A little bit vague there about that, but we move on anyway. I know that for elite clubs like Liverpool, United, Arsenal, it's uncomfortable us being here, and they have to understand we deserve to be with them and fighting for the achievements that they have achieved in the past. We deserve to be stronger year by year. There are incredible people in this organisation working to make us better. We don't have to ask permission to be here. We deserve to be here. When we lose, I will shake the hand and congratulate them. But all the time we have done. Guys, accept it. We want to be here and we tried. Sometimes we win, sometimes not. But they have to understand it. Don't whisper and go behind our backs. Do it on the pitch. Now, I think that's a bit fucking rich coming from Guardiola and Manchester City, if I'm being honest about it, because they might have been cleared and they may have had their ban overturned, but nobody will ever convince me on a personal level that they haven't bent the rules and that they haven't cheated and that they haven't done all the things that they've been accused of, or at least a majority of the things that they've been accused of. I read through all the emails from Der Spiegel, those leaked emails, and as Gary Neville alluded to when he spoke about this, UEFA can't organise a piss-up in a brewery. They really haven't got a clue, and their disciplinary hearings are a farce. And, of course, Gary Neville would have more insight to this, and he thinks that this is maybe the slap around the face that FFP and UEFA need to kind of get their house in order. And, look, outside of Manchester City fans, I genuinely don't think that there is a single football fan out there that thinks that Manchester City have done nothing improper. I'm yet to find one. Now, one thing that I want to just put again, this is just my opinion. If you think, or if anybody thinks that Manchester City are as appealing to financial partners or to sponsors as a club like Man United, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, you're fucking kidding yourselves. I'm sorry. But the fact that they're getting these tremendous sponsorship deals when they've got no fan base around the world, they don't have fans in every corner of the world. So in an open market, nobody will ever convince me that their value for a sponsor is anywhere near the same as Liverpool or Manchester United. I just don't see that happening. I just don't see how that is the case. And if anybody does feel that way, please let me know about it in the comment section, because I'd love to know how you've come to that conclusion. Because let's be quite frank about this. When you go and you see Liverpool on pre-season tours, United on pre-season tours, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, whoever it might be, fans everywhere. Everywhere. Manchester City, and maybe this is because they're rather new to success in football, and yes, they've won stuff in the past, but it's been quite a while, and as a club, they're definitely not somebody you think of in the elite levels. Historically, I should say. Right now, where they are, of course, they're performing very well. They've got a great squad, a great manager, and they're winning a load of trophies. But again, I still harp back to these emails, and just because they got off with it doesn't mean they're not guilty. It just means that there are very good legal teams fighting their corner. That's all I'm going to say in it. The managers have had their say. I had my say last night, but for some reason YouTube didn't really put the stream out. Nobody got the notifications and it got very little views compared to a normal stream. So I said I'd come back in tonight and talk about it again. But look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand it over to you guys now for a while in the chat and see what you think. The cheek of Pep, for fuck's sake, said Subi. Dave Smith said no notification again this evening. Most other people did get one, Dave, to be fair. I did check with Connor and a few others just to make sure that they had gone out. But, you know, YouTube at this point, Dave, they never always go out. It really is suspicious. It makes me wonder, said Ethan's Corner. What if they knock us out of the Champions League next year with Neymar and Mbappe playing for the cash, said Dave. I don't know, man. It is... One thing I've always said about this case with FFP and Manchester City is this was the big test case, and to me this signals the death of FFP as we currently know it, because it's clearly not enforceable, or maybe UEFA just aren't good enough at policing it, because we know clubs like Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain and other wealthy clubs can tool themselves up with the best lawyers that are out there, and look, they've every fucking right to do that. They've every right to defend their corner and to try and get away with things. And it's up to UEFA to make sure that their rules are in place. And one of the things from the Court of Arbitration for Sports, very minimal information that they gave out, because the full written, what's the phrase I'm looking for? The full written result of this, or whatever you want to call it, won't be out for a few more days. So what we have to go off is, one of the things is that there's a statute of limitations of 5 years, and some of the things that Manchester City have been accused of fall outside of that statute of limitations of 5 years. And the reason that this is important is that's UEFA's own fucking statute of limitations. So straight away going into this, that was it. They were fucked, because they thought that they could punish them for something that happened over 5 years ago, when in their own handbook, their own rule book for FFP, it states that they can only be punished for stuff that's happened in the last 5 years. You could not make this up. How stupid. It is their own governing body that's supposed to be taking care of the sport, protecting the sport, and they seem like they haven't got a clue what the fuck they're doing. It's mental. And as I said, again, I come back to Gary Neville talking about this. He intimated the same, that they're just not fit for purpose, UEFA, with regards to FFP. And look, I've said all along, whatever the result is, it is what it is. Manchester City have the right to compete in Europe. Manchester City have the right to go out and sign players. And it is what it is. But nobody's ever going to convince me that themselves and Paris Saint-Germain have not been clever. Let's put it that way. I'm going to be careful about what I say. What have we got? City fans are inside Manchester, barely any international fans at Ethan's corner. Disgrace, said Jack McNamee. Damn the day Mansour bought the club, said Isa. I feel like it shouldn't be 5 years. If something financially comes out 6 years later, they have been cheated the system. What gets me about this, Matt, is, again, this is my very limited understanding of this, because I'm not professing to be a financial expert in any way, shape or form, but they were investigated about some of the same things going back quite a while, and they were fined, if my memory serves me correct. I don't remember exactly what it was over, but they are still under investigation by the Premier League, by the way, so I'm not expecting much more of a positive outcome from the Premier League. But look, we are where we are. But Guardiola can keep his sanctimonious bullshit and his stupid fucking opinions to himself, because I respect him as a manager thoroughly. I respect everything he's done in the game. But everybody fucking knows, Pep. Everybody knows that there's something a bit iffy going on there at City. And you standing on your fucking soapbox, mate, and screaming from the rooftops. He actually came as far as to say that he wants an apology. You're going to be waiting a long time for that apology, Pep, because you might have gotten away with it with Manchester City, but the rest of the world knows, mate, that there's something just not right there, and you'll be a long time waiting for that apology. That's all I'm going to say in that anyway. And I'm going to move on to the next set of things that we have to talk about from Jurgen Klopp's press conference today.